Cheers. I'm making this video because I haven't made one of these in a while. Some of you that follow me on Twitter, you know that my YouTube channels, especially my main account, they'd all been ripped down due to these trolls and things like that. And my evidence was very, very incriminating. So, um, like I said, every so often I make these videos. I would do lives, a lot of live streams and things like that, to update people and fill them in on things every couple of weeks as to what was going on. Honestly, I really hated fucking doing them. It's just the truth. But at the same time, I was bored. And I like it's as I've said many times, I've been completely isolated from this. My family is estranged. I'm pretty much estranged from my family, especially my son. Um, Everyone's afraid of this. I mean, they'll buy into the crazy card. There are things, my son has a YouTube channel and I follow him. There are things my son is saying, and it's like he's parroting back mine and my father's program, MK Ultra programming. He doesn't even realize that he is in the matrix with all of us. He is literally who he is because of who I'm essentially, from what I've put together, neural linked, or however you want to call it, neural connected to someone else. Um, just the fact of the matter. I mean, I presented all my evidence, and so um, I have dealt with so many of these fakes and things, and they are involved in my MK Ultra projects, and they tie into child sex trafficking. I mean, I would love it if Liz Crokin, Pizzagate exposure, I would love it if she would contact me. But see, everything's all hearsay now. Everything's plausible deniability until somebody steps the fuck up and just admits that this is happening to me. I mean, I know this is what's happening to me. Pardon me, my dog's here. And she's like, "Why are you talking to yourself?" But yeah, I've dealt with so much of this, and I posted to some other targeted people, especially the women, and I think they get it, they understand it. And there's one Lisa Junker that her handle on Twitter that I follow. Hi, if you're watching. She also has drones, so it's like, I have drones, and so I actually have what another person who's a man, I won't say his name because I'm not making fun or being derogatory about it, because this is a fucked up game. It really is, because it's an MK Ultra game. And so he wanted me to call him on the phone to specify that I was real, to verify that I was real, because I have all this information and I have it bottled up. And it is I've always been a researcher, and I actually had thought that I was extremely autistic. And I now realize, because I checked all the boxes. I went through some years ago, women with autism, and England's like the only one that back then that was on top of it, right? On top of it. Right. But I ticked all the boxes all the way down. I was like, yep, that's me. Yep, that's me. Yep, that's me. And then I'm started to think, you know, this is MK Ultra. This is CERN. This is what the hell's happening. It's heavy metals that are in these vaccines, and some of these children are sensitive to it, so they become mute from what this is, because they're locked up in their head. I mean, it just makes sense, when you add it all together, the sway technology and all that. Um, Sway technology, it's such a perfect example is bipolar, it's a pendulum swing from one direction to the next. You're doing this continuously, right? Um, yeah, and I mean, my project is sway technology, and how I'm evidently linked into this other person in terms of their quantum switch. Don't ask me what the hell is the make of that. Like I said, I've been sold off to China, and I know Amy. I don't know if that's her real name. Sorry if you are watching, but I don't even think she thinks I'm real. I think she may, but she's afraid to say anything. She's extremely informative, and she studies the frequency with the drones, and she offered to do that for me for a little. I just haven't gotten around it's exhausting keeping up with this stuff. I haven't gotten around to recording or packaging them up. And, she doesn't charge much of anything at all, but it's still a charge nonetheless. And it's not that I think she's over. She actually it's extremely reasonable for her knowledge because she's extremely knowledgeable about frequency. I don't know how to do any of that shit. Okay, and it's all deliberate. I'm locked up. And I now realize that it's this. It's how I'm linked in, I guess, with this other person. All I've done is hear him since I was born. And so I'm literally distracted. And so my project, it's a love program. And if you follow me for a while, and I've explained there's no love involved at all. That's what this means. And so all the music industry, because this person is in the music industry, and I'm not pointing fingers at him or anything like that. It's just that everyone had played into this, so it's very hard for me to like think like, what is this? Why is everyone carrying on like this? It's extremely alarming that this has happened, and ca- everyone kept carrying on and keeps carrying on with it. I'm not kidding you when I tell you that everyone in the music industry, in the movies, they all interconnect and they're parroting back my program and how I'm linked into this other person. We're of a royal bloodline, I gather. I already knew that I was, but I forgot about it. I did not, it's not something I grew up with thinking I'm hoity toity or any of that. I just thought, because my father had informed me that we were descendants of Mary Queen of Scots. So I didn't think anything of it. I literally, that was out of sight, out of mind. It didn't even register with me as a kid. And so when this all came to surface and I started realizing that I'm an MK Ultra victim, and then I heard this person's voice overtly, and that's how it was. It's all timed out because CERN is a clock. It's an actual clock. It's a nuclear clock. And so myself and this other person are nuclear. It's nuclear fusion. Spooky, uh, spooky action from a distance. It's literally about two people in quantum computing. I'm guessing this person's like NASA, like IBM side, his program, and I'm in CERN, but we're connected together. And so CERN is really evil. And so this opposing side where Elon ties in, they want to go from so below to as above. But anyway, and you'll notice I just bounce back and forth all the time because it's like this for me. I um have this it's hard for I get carried away describing it. It's really hard for people. I got a jet flying over right now. Yeah, that's normal. But anyway, it's really hard for me to stay on topic. It's like it doesn't seem like it's on topic to anyone else, to outside people, but I can assure you it's just that everything is interconnected. It's a rabbit hole, like a spider web rabbit hole. It goes everywhere. Um Everything in our lives is controlled. And it's, as I've said before, I'm the Alice in CERN, evidently, and my name is Larissa Alice Lay. Larissa, my first name means moon. It's Pluto's moon. And so when you look up CERN, it is the moon. It's the moon program, and it communicates with DUMBs, worldwide DUMBs, with I'm guessing alternating algorithms. You got Mars, uh, which is we're in the western side of the U.S., I believe. I can't recall where. I want to say Area 51, but I might be wrong. So anyway, it communicates with all. From my understanding and things, a recent video I watched, I had posted, and I will repost this, is that the white hats have supposedly they're mainly, whatever this means, in control of CERN. I'm thinking it's because CERN, it's on the border. So my program, the Alice program, it's on the French side. It's like if you look at a map, you can literally look at images, Google Images, and you'll see how it's a circle, like it's mapped out. And so my project's there. Um, I don't know. I don't know what to make of it. All I know is that when in Switzerland when they do that whole what's that thing that they do every year? Well, you have their meeting, but then there's the other thing where it's in CERN and they're doing all the evil shit. So I don't know how much white hat control there is on this. I mean, I'm still sitting here, okay? Uh it's awful. Like it really is awful. I'm just all of it. I I don't know. I'm doing slightly just a hair better emotionally than I have been. Suicidal depression is what I've struggled with my whole life because of this. And it is because I'm linked into this other person. So I'm sure this person's the same way. And that's what, because like I said, I've been suicidal since I was a little girl, literally like grade school. Um, that's my dog drinking water. You got animals, right? So, yeah, um, it's just really hard. It's been really hard for me to take on. And I started working another retail job because I haven't been allowed to work. And my short-term memory is just, it's shit. It's literally shit. Um, so I have a really hard time retaining, things. It's worse now more than anything else. And it's how because as I've said, CERN is a clock and how I'm linked with this other person. I'm literally in step with this other person, I guess. So it's like when I heard this person's voice with a song that he's saying to me, they're all to me. It was always plotted out this way. So essentially went down. It was like that. The V2K started in and it from there like the overt form of V2K. So, it's on like an algorithm and I follow other targets here on Twitter and there's one man, I forget his name. He had mentioned he realized it was like on an algorithm. Yeah, it's the quantum algorithm. It's for me, it informs me of things, but I also feel as though because there's things that ring true in terms of this other person that I find out. It really is like that. And I think it's more to do. I think I'm picking up on this other person's thoughts or something. And it's just things have gotten progressively worse for me in terms of like I feel emotionally connected to this person. And it's, as I've said, I was sold off into this marriage. This other person is also MK. We're all MK Ultra, like hyper focused MK Ultra, I guess you could say. So my ex husband that I was actually married off to, he's a huge MK Ultra project. I'm sure he's floating around because this is how this works. Essentially, because I'm queen of the hive mind, because that's what the Alice in CERN is. And my program and how this works is that my ex only cares because I was always chasing him. It was always this way. It never made sense to me. Just completely removed for me. And it's as I've said before, I came to the conclusion. I think this person was trying to his sexuality preferences. I think he was coming to terms with it, and yeah, it was a nightmare. But it's because he's an MK Ultra project, so homosexuality and all this it rides on frequency. So the Hearts and Mind project, I had touched on that, which reminds me. So today I went to my doctor's office, same old thing. So they have this like thing, my medical facility's all in on it. So they have this like it's like a giant iPad on the wall and it flashes all these things for the medical industry. And there's this thing for I guess they have like a psychiatric unit in there or something. So I'm in the examining room and this thing's just kind of flashing by all this medical stuff. And so I videoed it and I'm going to upload it to Twitter so people can see it. And it literally is the hearts and minds and it's in terms of psychiatry. Uh, it just proves further that I know what the hell I'm talking about. Hearts and Mind Operation Project. It started in Vietnam War. It's right there. You can Wikipedia it. It's right there. And when you see it coming up inside, it just proves it that it is this. It's MK Ultra. It's how they're medicating people. MK Ultra. My father, I believe, headed up that operation. In all honesty, I don't doubt that his father was the one that actually headed it up, because my father was he was a lot like his father. Like I said, I come from a huge bloodline of veterans, and I now put it together. It's like it's even more than that. It's kings and queens and whatever. It's I'm of the royal bloodline, like I said, and they're all related. Um, and you've got all this derogatory shit talking about royal. It's like, no, these are fake royals. They're Jews, and I believe my genetics have been put into the Carroll Trust, and that's how my genetics were parceled out and sold off to China, and that's what's going on right now with myself and others. It's China tech. Um. So anyway, the real royal bloodline is Christians. They are Christians. You got like Queen Elizabeth the First and all that. These are people that um were good people that lived and died by the cross. Queen Elizabeth is one of she was the one that actually murdered her cousin, Mary Queen of Scots. And it was because it was thought that she was undermining her, and she was actually going to take her out. She was, so she had her for years, 15, 20 years or something, in a tower as a prisoner. I don't know. Uh, but that's another story. Like I said, it's just there's a lot of information. It's even more profound than that, and I'm not going to get into that because it'll make. I've already got enough hate. I don't need this. They literally have me playing out the Lilith. This is the Lilith project, how I tie into this other person. And so what they've done is that in childhood, him too, I'm sure of it, because this is how this is. And they did it to my ex-husband because it was all tied in together. We're all hypersexualized. Does that mean that I go out and I'm like doing, no, I'm not like that, because they have me playing Mary Magdalene and Mary Queen of Scots. And so the whole Mary it's I'm not going to go into all that, but we'll just say that my thoughts are that the Bible wasn't interpreted correctly, deliberately, I think, but that's just me. Um, so they're trying to make me out to be the whore of Babylon, right? So I guess that's essentially what I am, because this is the book of Revelations. I mean, they're playing it out through CERN, and so this is what this is. They follow it verbatim. It is what it is. I mean, they have me playing the widow and the bride of Christ. That's what they want me to play. That's my MK Ultra programming. Yeah, it's bullshit. Um, it really is bullshit, and it's because no one thought I was worth enough to actually address in terms of what this is, the magnitude of what this is. Um, it's just, and with every passing day, I feel more emotionally connected to this person, and it was set up, and I'm like, what is this? Why is this? I don't, it's like, I know this person and then I don't know this person, because it's like that. We're essentially, from what we're married in a computer. And what does that mean? Well, it means that I wasn't allowed to be married in the physical world. So when you're queen of the hive mind, you have your main, well, this is going to be a side tangent, strange for some, but so you have your main drone. The queen of the hive mind has her drone, right? And so she puts him on a pedestal. Her program, she has him there on a pedestal. She deemed him number one. And so, therefore, everyone, from what I can get out of this, it's like everyone else's program, because I'm the moon, right? And people are like, "Ugh," with me. So he's the sun program, right? With this whole NASA, whatever. So, they gravitate that way. I don't know. I'll just leave it at that. And then, in terms of me, men, they're and women are repulsed by me. Men, they see me, and so what this is, and this is how I think that how I feel the Bible was misinterpreted, is it's the Madonna whore complex that men now have. A woman cannot be a woman and have the sanctity of marriage, and everything else has been destroyed, and that's why the birth rate's down. So And that's also how myself and this other person ties in. That's another story, a long one. Um, they harvested my right ovary. So essentially, men and women yeah, they're not white Aryans, because white people are Aryans. The Jews don't want you to know that. They want to make that out to be a bad word because they've got Hitler. They're even using the whole Operation Paperclip. I'm sorry, but Hitler would have never agreed to that. I know too much now. I know that's just bullshit. No. You could just tell in his mannerisms and videos with how he was. He loved children and animals. You could just tell they had a lot of love for life and for the Germanic people and the Aryan nation, if you want to call it that. He did, because he knew that it was being destroyed, and it hurt him on a personal level. Um, he encouraged, and see, Trump is following along but see, Trump's trying to keep, and I get it, because there's just so many people that aren't awake to this yet, may never be. I don't know. Um, so I don't know where I'm getting with this. I don't know. Like I said, um, I'm gonna post that video, like I said, about the hearts and minds, because this is the hearts and minds project. And it's funny, just as I had made that connection, Elon Musk, other video came in within a couple of weeks later, stating that Taylor Swift is of the hearts and minds. And it's because the music industry is of the hearts and minds. And my father, like I said, I'm essentially my father in a lot of ways. I'm my mother too, and it's literally, I guess, algorithms and how they wanted me to be. Um, but my father's a very honorable man, and my mother even picked it for his tombstone. It says "Love and Honor" because that's how my father was. Um, despite um his liquor and all that, because this was all part of it. My father was going through a huge, vast level of recall. I now realize in the 80s and 90s, he was having nightmares and things like that. He didn't speak of the war. Most non-vets don't. It's because they knew something was up. Um. Anyway, I know I'm forgetting stuff because this is kind of how I am. I ramble. It's just, like I said, there's just so much information. I have huge amounts of information and I could offer it to anyone. And I've been alienated from the ones that are claimed to be real. And at the same time, they felt alienated by me. And I get it. I know I'm bouncing back to this, but because it kind of bothered me, because it's like, because I don't have a fucking check mark next to my name. Uh, I've got real ones, and I know some of them are real. They'll either completely ignore me. I've been blocked. I think Michael Barton blocked me, which I found very interesting, because it's like I actually it's because I'm just like vomiting out this information. I don't mean to be, and I don't mean to sound redundant when I do. It's just that I don't know who to keep up with. And it's not in terms of me trying to be a know it all. It's just how I empathize. That's just how. There's another jet. These are jumbo jets. So anyway, that's just how I empathize. It's that I exchange information. I will offer. It's not that I'm trying to one up anybody with a drone or 5 or 10 or any of that shit. It's not that. I really don't give a fuck. It's not. It's more to do with like, yeah, I totally get what you're saying. This is what I have happening, and so then I'll like vomit out the information, and it's just how it is. That's how I roll. All right, it's just how I it's how I roll. I can't stop fucking talking. I'm like that. I've always been that way. And I now realize it's this. And then it's in terms of future past, future present, all that kind of crap. It's like, yeah, I like, you ask me anything about how this nuclear shit works, and it's like, now, because because I'm a researcher, I've always been that way. And essentially it was because I was trying to figure out, like, where I can fit in. And I now realize it was because I was being alienated by everyone because, as I've said before, being queen of the hive mind, and it's not me, it's not bragging rights, trust me. Men and women, their program picks up on it. So men, and I now realize Trinity. So Agent Smith, I mean, anybody that knows the things I post, you can put 1 plus 1 together. If you notice, Trinity and Neo, they look alike. Well, let's just say Trinity's all the blondes in the movie. Yeah. Uh, so, and it's all hive mind stuff. So when you look at Agent Smith, he's essentially designed in the shadow function of Neo. They are. And they interchange. This is the zombie apocalypse. It's because it's all one program. The cops, they're CIA. They're all CIA agents. They got their wire and all that kind of stuff. And because we're in the Matrix, and this is what's happening. So what? Anyway, I found it interesting with Trinity. She had said she went up to Neo and came up behind him. All these innuendos and shit. I think she came up behind. Yeah. So she said, just for your information, Dragula wouldn't have been playing. But then again, it said Drag. But she says, she basically, he found out that she was the Trinity. And so he goes, I thought you were a man. She said, most men do. Now, I'm not going to go into part of what that means, but I'm going to go into part of because I'm interconnected to a man. So essentially, I am like that. And I have my father in me too. I do think like a man. I've always felt that way. And so men pick up on how I am, and they don't know what to make of me. I feel as though it's that. And it's because I do like talk a lot. I'm not extroverted, not at all. I'm extremely introverted, like to the point of like I don't go out of my way to like because part of my programming is dancing. I'm a spinner, my MK Ultra Project Monarch programming. So what I'll do is I'll go dance. And it really is like I'm performing. I go, I spin, and I'm out. Like I leave. I don't hang around. I don't care for chit chat bullshit. Don't care for any of that. They're all assholes. I now know why. It's because they're being sent in. They're being paid, compensated to go in and do what they do. I mean, I've been accosted, apprehended my whole life. I've had gangs come after me and everything else. And yeah, my father was the one, being a non-vet. I know how to throw down. I know how to fight. I'm not afraid to. I've said that before. Um, I have a mean right hook. Now I'm not quick with a jab, but I will throw my body weight into it. And yeah, I don't have a problem with that. Um, I don't have a problem with defending myself. And so they try to test this with me. They've tried doing this throughout my life. And so they threw Chola gangs after me. And the one thing I learned the hard way was you can't just fight one damn bean. You got to fight the whole damn burrito with the cholas. So the cholitas. So I had yeah, you basically it's kind of Corbin Dallas when he goes and he talks about the leader. You have to take out the leader. Well, it's programs. I now realize it's all programs. They all there's truth in every movie. Everything's telling. They're all telling you. So yeah, that was what I figured out was, and I think my father was the one that told me that when it comes to gangs and things like that, you have to take out the leader. Like I said, my father was very knowledgeable. He even was the one that informed me about psychological warfare. I am not kidding. Go figure. So he was brilliant. He really was smart. I now realize that's why he was in this. The person I'm linked into, yeah, he's pretty smart too. He does. He plays like what every fucking instrument you can think of. Not me, not me, because I was designed to be like this. No, I'm not. After that person derogatory about it, but it's like, wow, I got the short end of the stick out of this one. Cheers to you, motherfuckers. Sucks to be me. So, like I said, I'm locked up in my head. So my program was so this person strums, plays bass mainly. And so from that moment on, from when I heard this person, it was like that. I was always trying to search him out. And I now realize it through frequency, music, bass guitar. You can't put a heavy enough bass. Um, like I will, yeah. Yes, I will throw down. Yes, I know how to dance to all that stuff. Like the floor will clear when percussion hits. They're like, "Whoa, man, I don't know what the fuck this is. I gotta clear it." So I'm always the first one. The minute and nobody ever plays it, and now I realize why they never played The Cure at the clubs. Hardly ever, hardly ever. And I always thought it was the weirdest thing. I'm like, you have all these bands that were obviously influenced, but they never played them, and I now realize why. And it was because I was the laughing stock, the joke of the entertainment industry, the music. I'm literally their muse in this whatever this is. So, yep, it's that. Like I said, you name any of them, and it's weird because uh, it was preemptive programming. They had always planned on this. Even so I had posted in a post, and I could bring that back up too. It's right there. It says Alice in Wonderland is about quantum uh physics and nuclear. It's that they had always known this technology was going to come about and they were going to do this. And so essentially what it meant, because if you look at it, so Alice in Wonderland, Alice, she is of a royal bloodline. She is the red and the white queen. She's the queen of hearts. And so my program's a love program, fits in with the hearts and minds. She's the white queen, right? It's like Queen of Heaven or a reference, all that type of shit. Because they were going to do that, and the black and the white, so as above so below, they had literally and then when you look at Tesla in interviews and things, because nobody ever talks about him as a man, they just like, they're now, it's just now coming out that this is his technology. It's his and Einstein's. Einstein was about the nuclear side of it, but the actual in terms of the frequency and all that. So Einstein was in terms of how this computer would come about, because this is a quantum physics. Like I said, I have a. This is why people. It's funny. I was talking to a girl that I work with, a young girl, and she's not dumb by any stretch. Like she said, yeah, I had physics and I had a hard time with it and this. And I said, it's because you don't. They don't teach you how to apply it. You wouldn't know how to use it. They're teaching these young kids this stuff. And I looked at her and said, wow, you're smart enough to get into that. Wow. Um, and I informed her. I said it's because it has to do with nuclear, um, and quantum fission, fusion, all that shit. And it's funny because I told her, I said, yeah, I can't write the formula out. I couldn't write that in a million years. And that's the other thing, because I have dyscalculia, which is a the hugest math disability ever. I can't even do fractions. Like my math level, I now know it was deliberate. This was all part of this. Like I said, my story, it parallels Allie Carter's, the whistleblower, the young girl on the Epstein case. She went through the Riverside system, and see, I that's where I'm from. Yeah, and so she said the teachers, everyone, they're complicit. All my teachers were involved in this. Tons and tons of teachers from my school district, which was the Harupa School District in a Riverside area. It was like an outer area of Riverside. There was tons and tons of teachers that were convicted of pedophilia, and they wouldn't even get like a slap on the wrist. uh they didn't do any time, no prison time, none of that. And it's because they're tied in with the masonry and shit. I now realize that's what this is. I had them all coming after me as well, scapegoating me. This is how it's been. I'm the ultimate scapegoat. So like I'm being martyred. I'm a human sacrifice. They've already declared me as such. This is what this is all about. Like, you can literally name me any movie or any song, and I can tell you what it means, or how it interconnects with everything else. Um, it's huge. It really is huge. Um, and so, like I said, I'm on the Larissa blockchain. That's me. So I, I'm basically tied to the Federal Reserve. I'm a reserve node, and I guess I'm the firewall to the reserve. And so this other person holds the key to that, right? I don't know where I was getting to that. That's where the entanglement bullshit comes into play. They had planned on this, like I said, long before he or I were born. They just knew they were going to do this to a bloodline. Um, I don't know. So, from my understanding, is that, uh, and I say that, and I'll tell you why in a second. I do this. My understanding is that part of these tariffs are going to be what gets me out of this, or because I'm contracted to China, and I wouldn't doubt others are too, because I know Amy, I think it's Amy, she goes by, she had came to the same conclusion, and it's as I said before. So my V2K, what I was getting to with this, because I will say here, right? Sometimes it's usually when I lay my head on the pillow, it's kind of like an algorithm. So my V2K had informed me. It'll just hit me like that. I'll wake up and it'll all of a sudden it will be like, oh wow. And to some people you'll think it's a dream, and then what will happen is I'll go research it and I'll find the evidence. True story. True story. It's pretty off the chain. Um, so yeah, essentially I guess that's what this is. And so from my understanding, as I've said to others, it really does boil down to pulling out of the Federal Reserve, um, in terms of this gang stalking, just in a general sense, because we've all been sold out to China. If you've got drones, yeah, you've absolutely been sold out to China. That's China tech, and that is where Joe did this. Joe Biden. And so I figure it's on Hunter Biden's laptop. I'm positive it is, because he was the one that was doing the dirty dealings for Daddy. And then I think, wasn't Nancy Pelosi like supposedly in bed with? That was like right around the fraudulent election. I don't remember. If anyone wants to drop some details, they can. I forgot. It's been a while. Okay, so on that note, I never did take a sip. It's because if I to make videos and things, I have to have a little bit of Hearts and Minds Project liquor plays in, and for me to do videos, I have to. Okay, get my dogs. So anyway, yeah, I'm gonna wrap this up now. I know this is long. Don't know if anybody's watching it. That's fine. Don't care. Like I said, just putting this here to inform people. Yes, I am fucking real. I'm not a fucking bot. As I said before, I've had people accuse me of being fake and whatever, and it's like I had one guy I was gonna get at that had he also has drones, and he wanted me to call him to specify I'm real. I'm like, what? No. So he was trying to give me a hard time and play games with me, and so then it's like I said, it's because I'm more than informed. I know things on an insider level that most people don't know, and it is because of this. Like I could find you all the information, and there it is. It's not because I am an insider. I'm waiting here like everyone else. I'm waiting to be rescued. I don't know if it's gonna happen. Um, but anyway, yeah, I had real ones that gave me a hard time. This last one, he was like, he wanted me to call him. I'm like, I'm not calling you. This was after I posted all of these videos of these trolls on YouTube, that evidence of them coming to my house and everything else, and actually making songs and things. This one guy, he's literally got a pyramid and a world thing on his shirt. Um, and there he actually said my neighbors were attacking my heart with a weapon. It was literally right there. I posted it recently. It's funny is that I didn't even hear that last part because I'm just so disgusted with all of it. So when I went through listen to it, I listened to it all the way through, and I heard that, I thought, oh my god, if that doesn't prove that this is happening to me and others, really, like, yeah, that's insane. Like, it's right there. And I figure that was part of what helped my father along when he was murdered. That malpractice thing, you know. Next day, I had a fucking heart attack. I have no fucking doubt. Fucking electromagnetic pulse. They'd actually left comments in my live when I talked about my dad, and they put EMP on it, and I was like, wow. These people are balls of the wall. They admit it. They admit what they're up to. Well, I'm just hearing jets left and right. This it's because I'm on here. Yeah. Anyway, like I said, I have all these reels and fakes. The fakes claiming this or that, and it's like I need a fucking check mark. I'm like, no. This is how I look at it. I can't afford to keep up with a membership. I'm going to end up probably losing my home. I can't pay my property taxes. I owe money, so they can steal my home away from me. And I blame everyone for being complicit in this. It's like I'm gonna be fucking homeless. It's like, well, I hope it's fucking worth the motherfuckers. Like I said, yeah, there's supposedly two sides to this, and it's like one side believes I'm this holier than thou, and then the other side believes I'm literally the she beast demon. And it's like, wow, you motherfuckers, like, pick a side, motherfuckers, like, whatever. Like I said, and it really does boil down to Madonna whore thing because a woman is not allowed to be a woman. That's why she's been made into the she beast. They're all, and the men too, they've all been designed as this Baphomet because a Baphomet is literally the Lilith. They've all been designed like this. These effeminate creatures that are extremely materialistic and fuck anything and everything. They have no value. They have no family values, no morals, no ethics, nothing. So, it's just who they are. It doesn't mean everyone's like, but people I've come across, yeah, they're like that. Like this is where we're at now. Like everyone hates me. Like women and I were like oil and water, so I just keep my distance. All in on this thing. Men, it's not much different. With men though, I mean these weirdos are obsessed. They're completely perverted and obsessed. I guess I could add this fact. So I've said this before in videos. I believe I was raped when I lived, or something happened. Was when I lived with my ex-husband in this home we were renting before I moved out here and got my divorce from him because he was in on it. Uh, he was being instructed and given hotel rooms for free. He was going to concerts, all kinds of shit. He was involved with the Illuminati. He doesn't know it, but it's like, yeah, that's what you are. They wanted him out so I could be this. I guess I don't know. He left and went out. I went out to the club, came back, came home, had more drinks, passed out literally for only like 3 hours, woke up completely unclothed from the waist down. And my arms were to my sides on top of the blanket. Blanket came across my chest and my bedroom door was wide open. Granted, I lock my bedroom door at night because my ex-husband was pensive and he made me nervous. I didn't know what he was capable of. I now realize he was in on it. Um, so as I've said, the movie Distorted, all of them connect, but the movie Distorted in particular, it shows it all right there, right down to my husband, me finding out because like I said, it's all past, future present. It was me finding out that I'm a huge bunch of mind control projects. I'm the Project Alice. I've been referred to it like it's a big umbrella term. Umbrella Corporation. That's the Alice. That's what this all means. It's top secrets. There's another one. Uh so yeah. I guess I'm gonna go. I know you keep saying this, but that's what this is. All right. So adios. Now I'm gonna take a sip of this shit. Here we go, loop de loop.